Hello, welcome in everybody. My name is Laura from Tenacious Taurus Twin Flame Tarot, and this is going to be the general daily collective message for the 4/4 portal. You don't want to miss this, so stick with me, guys. If you haven't already done so, feel free to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to like the videos, give them a thumbs up, comment on the videos, share the videos. It helps to circulate the content, it helps the channel to grow, and it lets me know that you like the content that I create and the messages that I put out there. But let's get into this 4/4 portal energy check-in. I was planning on going live. I usually pre-record these messages so they are released first thing in the morning. But there was a major sudden shift that took place in my world yesterday. It was almost like the bottom dropping out of my world. Connected with my kids and some issues that have been ongoing throughout my awakening journey over the last several years. And so we've got some potent energies playing out in the collective. We've got Venus in Pisces at the 29-degree mark, which is the Catharitc degree. And so the energy is very Piscean. It's very heavy with the moon in Aquarius. And right now, currently sitting at 16 degrees where I'm at, it is also square Mercury in Aries. And so there's likely to be some type of an experience or crisis of consciousness that's going to create some type of sudden shift in perspective. So we are in between eclipse portals. And so eclipses are fated, it's destined. And so there's something also going back to 7 years ago. I know we had a partial eclipse in the area 7 years ago. Don't mind my nails, they're a little messy. My daughter painted them yesterday. But we are in a portal of emotions being triggered. We are in a state of deep emotional catharsis. So expect some powerful, massive global awakenings with this eclipse portal. And so those of us that have been on the journey for a while, I do feel we're prepared to work with these energies, although the transits that are taking place are amplifying misunderstandings, miscommunications, and that's exactly what I experienced yesterday morning at the school, dealing with issues once again with my oldest daughter. And so there was a swift pulling out of the school. I removed both of the children yesterday morning from the narcissistic education system. I am completely done with that school, with the bullying issues, with a lot of things that have transpired throughout the years. And so even if I go back like 3 years ago, there's some type of completion going on from about 3 years ago. And so there's a lot of heightened emotional sensitivity. The energy is challenging when it comes to personal self-expression, especially with Mercury now in retrograde, and it is going to be conjunct Chiron again, which is digging up all of these deep fears, these deep insecurities. The energy is very confronting. And so what I've realized on my journey is through the study of self and the study of astrology and my holistic healing journey, is Kenzie is always the trigger to get me to the core wound, and my youngest daughter, Savannah, is always the medicine to heal the inner child wound. And so right now I feel collectively the energy is stirring up a lot of deep emotional issues from the past, a lot of deep emotional triggers, which is going to create profound transformations, not only in our own personal lives, but within the collective as a whole, because we are shifting from 3D to 5D Earth timelines. And so the old kind of has to be released. And so any triggers are likely going to bring forward a profound epiphany or a shift in perspective that is going to get you to make an important decision that maybe you have postponed. I know today, after a major Piscean purge, and I was in the thick of it with a lot of emotions yesterday, I'm a little bit more clear-headed and objective this morning with the intense things that I'm going to have to be dealing with over the coming days with the school and withdrawing the children and rearranging my entire day-to-day life to accommodate these shifts and these changes. And so the moon was conjunct Pluto yesterday, which I feel gave way to this very intense, dramatical, emotional shift in my own personal life. And as an empath and as a Pisces rising with all of this Piscean energy, I've got like a Piscean stellium sitting in my first house right now. And so I feel things so deeply. I feel the collective trauma very deeply. I just have a deep emotional connection to everything, everyone, the world, myself, my children. And so this also does help me enhance my psychic impressions, right? Because the heart is the gateway receptor of our intuitive gifts, 515. And so right now we're in a portal of divine intervention, and anything leaving our lives right now, it is going to be permanent. It is going to be fated. It is going to be destined. And I spent a lot of time reflecting on the past few years, wishing I would have had the strength and the ability to do this years ago. But the awakening process dragged me through the dark night of the soul. It was a very difficult process, and we still fall back into those patterns in order to understand them deeply. And so the deeper the wound, the deeper the pain, the longer the process of the clearing of the grief. And so emotional reactions right now are going to be strongly influenced, I feel, by our intuition. I know dreams, visions, psychic impressions are very vivid for me, with the moon in Aquarius transiting through my 12th house of my subconscious mind, of karma. I also have Pluto sitting in my 12th house right now. And so right now I feel collectively, I know myself yesterday with everything that transpired, I had little to no control over my subconscious feelings because of the trigger that kind of took place. And so if we can learn to allow the intuition to take over, then we can get rooted in conscious intentions and actions. And so I also want to give a huge thank you and shout out to somebody that had recently reached out to me by email with some tips on building the channel, with some SEO tips and practices and stuff. And so anonymously, I'm going to say thank you, because I've been praying and praying and praying for some help lately. And it was like godsend. You were like a godsend, like this angel from above that just must have heard the call. And so I know the next few days in this eclipse portal, be prepared to experience extremes in moods, in emotions and feelings, and there's a tendency towards these feelings to be extreme and often very dark as we go into the depths of the underworld. And so you think of the Piscean Ocean, there's layers to the Pisces energy, right? And so the bottom of the ocean really is where we need to go to unearth any parts in our lives that are connected to emotional manipulation, and that is likely to occur. And so I was definitely met with somebody at the school that I found to be like a power tripping narcissistic entity, and I'll leave it at that. But I refuse to allow emotional manipulation in my life or in my children's life any further. And so I know there's going to be big changes occurring for me on the home front, in my home. And I feel, I know there's some issues I need to work with, in particularly with my mother, when it comes to this change that I feel she's going to be very resistant to. But I also feel there's a lot being highlighted when it comes to prying manipulative people in our lives. And so also where we need to understand where maybe we have learned such controlling behavior, to learn to let that go as well. And so right now we're in the process of undoing a lot of subconscious brainwashing. And that is, I believe, what a lot of us New Earth leaders are here to do. I didn't think I was going to be on this path doing it by myself. I honestly thought that I was going to be doing all of this work in twin flame, twin soul union with my counterpart, but it's clear he's still in that karmic connection and has no desire to ascend or to take accountability or make the necessary changes that would need to be made to reprioritize so we can enjoy a healthy union, a healthy relationship. And so there's a lot undoing for myself on the heart when it comes to this mirror soul connection. And I'm learning to make myself a major priority and to take the necessary risks I need to do to go through this powerful regeneration for myself and my daughters. And so I'm thankful for the awakening. I'm thankful for the journey, but I am in a powerful portal of releasing that person, that idea. And so there's a lot that comes forward with this tremendous shift of regeneration going on collectively right now. And so right now we're in a very quick learning state of accelerated ascension, of understanding our own psychological processing. So in order to go through this transformation, we do have to go within into a state of self-analysis. We have to understand spiritual techniques that allow us to access these deeply buried memories and feelings. And so right now I feel the energy really is symbolizing an opportunity to accept the things that just cannot be changed, to move on, to look deeper at your own hidden motivations, to expose maybe corrupting influences around us. And I do feel the entire education system is corrupt beyond repair. And so I'm done having people questioning my power, questioning the dynamics as to how I choose to run my family and my household moving forward. I am done with unfair, unethical people, principles, ideas. As a 12th house Aquarius, I am here to break the mold. And so I know the last 7 years has been very difficult for me. I've had barely anybody validate the experience, like within my personal life, and I've had to quickly learn that there are so many fake people out there, and I do feel people are beginning to recognize that. And so right now I know for myself personally, the significance of the energies taking place this week are creating this need for me to adjust my own inner sense. I know I really felt powerlessness yesterday with the way that I was spoken to. And I do get emotional when my children are involved, because they are my children. They are a part of me. And so I just feel right now there's going to be all kinds of conflicts of interest coming up. We should try to avoid these, re-examine our path, disengage from any conflicts at this time, which is what I did, and to really examine any deeper motivations, right? Are your motivations too strong or too weak, or vice versa on the flip scale? Are your motivations based on unhealthy levels of need or false ideas or promises? But just a reevaluation of any unsustainable conditions. And so there's a lot of intellectual adaptation going on. I feel with the Pluto Mercury energy, that square carnelian would be a really good stone to work with. I think I got a piece of carnelian right here. Third eyes, I feel third eye energy is being activated. So third eye meditation will serve over the coming days going into this eclipse portal, because we are expanding our subconscious intellectual horizons. That is part of the awakening. And as we expand the mind, we will also question our beliefs, question our programmed beliefs. And this is all a part of embracing growth. And so the more deeply rooted the programmed belief, the harder the ego is going to fight the change. And so there was a lot of tears yesterday working on balancing these intense emotions. There was a lot of ethical considerations that I had to sit with, ethical considerations, implications, and it is challenging to navigate ego conflicts, but I refuse to sit by idle anymore, because there really is no finding common ground with the situations that I've had to deal with recently. And so there's a mysterious celestial energy coming forward with profound, influential truths with these transits. We have to kind of dive into the depth of the psyche and unearth these hidden truths, because nothing changes if we don't get honest with ourselves. Pluto is all about death and rebirth. And so Pluto is going to be going retrograde soon, back into Capricorn, and it's going to be a cleanup. And so a lot of us are dismantling these old programmed structures when it comes to education and work ethics. We are dismantling our programmed beliefs surrounding religion, family, relationships, and we are dismantling false identities of self. And so there is almost like a once unshakable identity of self is leading to a profound introspection, massive purging, and eventually it does lead us down the pathway of regeneration. And so I could physically feel the DNA restructuring during this purge yesterday, and I have spoken to several others on the path, and we are all in this massive emotional purging. I didn't even know if I was going to have the drive to get on here today, and I woke up in tears purging again this morning. And so This is very unsettling. This is not work for the weak, because we have to confront everything within our shadow self to do this deep soul dive. We have to confront all of the deeper aspects of our nature, our shadows, our obsessions, and the very essence of our soul and our desires, good, bad, and ugly. And so we're going through like this resurrection energy, right? Jesus behind me, resurrection energy. And it's very overwhelming. And so we're going through the resurrection of Pluto's gaze. And so the energy is overwhelming. I feel like I could burst into tears right now, because the energy is heralding major endings, which does lead to deep losses, loss of self, loss of identity, loss of relationships, loss of a path that you once thought was meant for you. And so we're in this portal of transformative alchemy at the core. And like it's similar to like a forest fire, right? And that's what it feels like, going up in flames, the bottom falling out of your life. And so like a forest fire, although it is destructive, very destructive, it does pave the way for new growth. And so right now we're clearing away the obsolete. That's what eclipses do. We're making room for the new, for rebirth, for renewal. And so this energy really is demanding us to not flinch, to just stare right into the abyss, right into the darkness. Because if you stare long enough, I promise you, from the depths of the abyss, you can rise renewed. You can rise with a deeper understanding of yourself, and you can rise with a more authentic alignment of your life purpose. And so right now we're navigating some very heavy emotional waters. It does require spiritual courage. It requires surrender, and that's a tough one. And it does require trust in the cyclical nature of life. We are ascending the age of Pisces. This has been talked about for generation, the age of Aquarius. And so through this cyclical nature, we do need to understand that after every ending does come a new beginning. And so I know I'm being challenged this Mercury retrograde. I am a Mercury in Aries. And so these energies are really deepening my thinking processes. They're definitely helping me evolve my spiritual beliefs, my twin flame beliefs. And I'm not even sure what I believe right now, because I certainly don't believe in that person having what it takes to come back and do the right thing. I've kind of given up on that. I don't even know what's next for me, but I know I have no desire for a relationship in my life with the opposite gender. None whatsoever. I think relationships are very complex, and I have no desire to cohabitate with another person in that capacity, I think, ever again. So I do think get ready for ego conflicts over the coming days. I do fully intend on finishing off. I think I got 3 zodiac signs, Sagittarius, Capricorn, and Gemini left to do. I will try to get those out before the eclipse, but please bear with me, because I too am going through these changes, and it's not easy to not only be the path and pave the path, but to also go through the passage of the Plutonian energy, right? And so just stay open-minded, avoid clinging to anything that kind of needs to go, as scary as change is. And even Kenzie had a good cry, and she's like, I'm scared of change, but I know I can't go back there. I don't want to go back there, right? And so there comes a point where we have to question the intentions of others around us, right? Which is what I've been doing for the last few years, weeding out the snakes in the grass. So right now, I think just be ready to question the intentions of others, to thoroughly explore different viewpoints, right? Because we can't be so narrow-minded that our viewpoint is the only viewpoint. And don't go trying to convince others of your perspective, right? Because that will certainly lead to conflicts. And I'm not here to convince you of my truth. I'm just here to open up a doorway of a new perspective for you, whether it will lead you down the pathway of a new idea. Maybe it will evoke some intense emotions. I know I can serve as a mirror like that as well. But I feel just allow yourself to let the energies transform you, so you can make a greater impact in your life moving forward. And so we do need to remember, knowledge is power. Knowledge is a powerful tool. And we do have to be able to use these spiritual truths that are being downloaded responsibly. We cannot use them to manipulate or control another. And so just allow the energies to bring you to a state of deep reflection, okay? I want to mention some of the syncs that were loud for me. 313, 323, 777, 434, and 606. And so I would also like to mention, before jumping in with the cards, there is also a membership now side on the channel. If you'd like to be a channel membership, please feel free to head over there. And if you would also like to book a reading, feel free to check out the new webpage and get that booked in, because I know spaces are filling up very fast. So let's jump in with the Spiritual Journey Oracle deck to start today. Relationship paradigm shift and karmic lessons. Well, that is loud. That message is loud. We came here as spiritual, energetic souls and beings. We incarnated in this human experience to resolve past life karma, to clear ancestral karma, our family lineage. We have to work through these painful lessons, and it's painful. But we can turn these lessons into growth, right? We can turn them into the light. And so in order to have peace and light in your life, sometimes you have to go through the darkest of days. And so there is going to be a major shift in relationships. And this could be work relationships, one-on-one relationships, relationships with your children. Just really being guided towards these new higher connections. So let's get into it. Let's see what else needs to come through. Remember, this is not sign specific, but I will call it zodiac signs that I feel need mentioning throughout the reading. Okay, let's see what else. Transformation. So imparting wisdom and transformation, detachment. So this is also a lesson in subtracting your ego from the agenda, right? Sometimes the ego has a tight hold on an outcome or a situation. And so there is a higher power at work. So the harder you cling, the harder the fall. And so right now I feel we are transforming. We are learning to embrace our ancestors that are watching over us. We are connecting to our guides, our crossed over loved ones. Maybe you have a crossed over loved one that is offering you advice as to how they would handle maybe a certain situation that is arising for you. But just listen. Go within, quiet the mind, and listen, because we are shedding all kinds of layers out of our lives, relationships, jobs, schools. We're just releasing anything external that is no longer serving the higher calling, the higher purpose. And so subtract your own agenda from the end goal, because the divine is going to reward the twins for the effort that they put in. And so I feel right now, collectively, we need to be in a state of nourishment. That's kind of like divine feminine energy. Honoring the inner feminine, and whether you're a man or a woman, we all have an inner feminine. And so how can you nourish your body, your mind, your soul? The journey is sacred, and it is all unique to our own personal lives. And so no two journeys are the same, although there are similarities. The journeys are unique to us. And so how can you feed yourself? Only that which nourishes you. And so this includes what you watch on TV, the books that you read, the people that you connect with. We are a combination of all of these things, the food we put into our body. And so right now, collectively, we are in a very tough energetic portal. Spirit is always there to offer us guidance, to offer us support, but we have to cut these cords. And so collectively, there is going to be a massive dark night of the soul coming up here, I feel. This eclipse is going to trigger the dark night of the soul for those who still have the veil over their eyes. There is going to be a major collective reevaluation coming up here. So how can you consciously choose to cut these cords like I did yesterday? And I didn't do it pretty, trust me. And you know, that principal at that school was a biatch, and guess what? I'm a bigger biatch. And so there's two sides to Pisces rising. Let me tell you, I can be an angel and I can be a devil. And I know how to work with my shadow self, and I also know how to integrate the lesson afterwards. And so it wasn't really pretty. I was a little bit immature yesterday, but like I said, sometimes emotions can override. But I do feel there's a lot of unwanted attachments being released, especially when it comes to past memories of trauma, unhealthy energies, releasing, renewing. And so the great unveiling, I feel, is beginning. So get ready to receive visions. Many of us on the twin flame journey, we agreed to incarnate, to go through this very intense connection, which basically is a mirror intended to strip away all of these outdated beliefs. Do twin souls come into physical union? That I've yet to encounter, that I've yet to see. And I know seeing sometimes is believing, although I've always been a believer without actually seeing the proof. And so right now I feel there's a lot of prophetic messages coming in, important messages from the divine. So pay attention to your dreams, because bottom line is we did come here for love. Twin soul reunion or not, it really is a union of self regardless. And so I feel right now there's going to be some roadblocks to overcome. There's going to be a need to choose an alternate pathway to reach a solution. Let's jump in with some tarot. Nope, they said nope. We're going to do the Archangel deck today. So we are at a crossroads. The pathway forward is definitely not written in stone. It's not clear. We get the moon. So this is right in alignment with the eclipse energies coming up. And so this eclipse really is bringing forward an unseen opportunity to improve plans, to improve your life, to listen to your intuition. Okay, listen to your intuition. That guidance is accurate. Do not second guess any decisions you make at this point in time. Face your fears, because it will allow you to grow stronger, because we are at the crossroads. So we are encouraged to make that bold choice, the choice that's best for us, and that will lead to a lot of progress, a lot of new possibilities. And so there's an important decision being made during this eclipse portal. So let's get into it. And let's see what needs to come through. We're going to do 9 cards. And we're going to see what else needs to come through today. So definitely Pisces energy is loud with the moon. And we get a little bit of fire, which I feel is the Mercury and Aries energy. So we get the 4 of Michael in reversed. We get the Ace of Michael in reversed. And we get the 2 of Michael in reverse. That's a lot of swords. And so there's a lot of insights coming in, an abundance of insights about maybe some untruths, mistruths, misguided falsehoods. And so it will all be better if you just make a decision, I feel. Oh my goodness, the 5 of Michael. Look at all of these swords. The King of Cups. And we get the 3 of coins in reverse. So we do kind of have a 5 of Michael up here, right? With the 4 of Michael in reverse, the Ace of Michael in reverse. And so there is, I feel, a masculine here that is needing to release a situation that isn't serving him. You could just be harnessing this inner masculine energy. This really is the energy of Mars and Pisces coming through. There is a need to release an unhealthy situation. And it doesn't have to be love. But I feel this is a great time of personal growth, being able to choose what it is that we love and to release attachment to maybe something unhealthy. So there's that decision coming up. You got to give me a minute here, guys. The cat was scratching. Cat scratch fever. Anyway, so we get Capricorn energy. We get the decision card. And so release yourself from anything that's been holding you back from really aligning to your highest light, to your highest purpose. And so there's a need to take back control and release unnecessary worry due to maybe a lack of self-confidence, because we're releasing a burden here. I know for me, this is like closing out almost like a 10-year cycle. My daughter's been at that school for a decade. And I wish I would have done this a decade ago, right? 10 of Gabriel. And then we got the perspective card. And so really, this is where the divine is taking over. The divine is kind of stepping in. And then this kind of fell out too with the 4 of Pentacles in reverse. So this is a huge release. Releasing of something that has been holding you back from receiving. And it is leading to a golden opportunity, maybe even a windfall, new sources of money, new ways to spend your time, maybe new unseen support is coming in. This could be a change in a job, a change in an education system, a change in a relationship, but either way, major insights are coming. Somebody here, I feel, has really self-sabotaged their path. Maybe in a connection where there's a lack of cooperation. It's time to start a new endeavor. And so get ready to make a decision. Get ready to ask the angels for help, because I do feel the angels are encouraging us to release something. We don't have to work to please people, right? Don't work to please others. There's a better way. And so there's a pause for reflection and insight, because we are being encouraged to dare to be different, to step into being those new earth leaders. So follow your creative passions. This is about taking heart-centered action. We all have the ability to create anything we want in our lives, and we are being divinely guided to accomplish whatever it is that we need to. But we also have to trust our own intuition. I feel somebody here is considering taking a more uplifting approach. But let's clarify this King of Cups. I do feel this Pisces season is all about doing the honorable, refined thing. We'll get one more. Look at that. Okay, and we get the Knight of Coins upright, the Strength reverse, clarifying this King of Cups, and then we get the King of Wands in reverse. And so I feel somebody here maybe left the details to others, and there's some sacred rage I feel that needs to come through, connected to maybe a very dramatic situation. I feel there's somebody here that maybe had a lack of concern for others. I do feel somebody here might have had fear of stepping into sharing some ideas that they've experienced. There's a lack of drive, a lack of inspiration, and a lack of strength, because I do feel somebody here is all about the ego. And now they're deep within the heart, considering what else they can accomplish. And so not really a fan of the King of Wands in reverse with the Strength reverse. That's strong Leo energy for sure. So you could be dealing with a Leo. But I feel there is a new beginning here. Somebody here is going through an awakening, some type of spiritual awakening or judgment. I think many in the collective are. And so we are on the precipice of starting a new life. Many are going to be coming into finding their purpose over the coming weeks and months. And so how can you forgive and review the past? And that's what I'm going to be talking about on the live today at noon on the membership side, is about forgiveness. So there is a lot of accomplishment coming forward, I feel. You might need to make a very detailed plan. That's interesting, because that's what I told the girls, is like, after I'm done doing my work today, we're going to make a very detailed plan on how all of this is going to work after we decompress and purge the old system out of our lives. And so we do need to remember too, we are watched over by our loved ones as we release this worry. So release the worry. Worry is unnecessary. When we feed the fear, that's what we keep recreating in our lives, is more fear-based situations that we're going to have to deal with. So release the fear. Refocus your thoughts on an outcome that you do desire, and release any feelings of regret, guilt, and worry, because the angels are saying anything that leaves your life now, or decisions that you make now, were meant to be made. And so we're going into a state of balance. We need to trust that our material needs will always get fulfilled in magical and unexpected ways when we choose the path of our intuition and the path that we are being guided to go down. And so acts of kindness will always bring equal giving and receiving. Maybe not right away, but what goes around always comes back around. And I do feel I'm sitting in a state of gratefulness for the lessons, no matter how painful they have been. But I feel we can't keep clinging on to things. We can't keep working on things that we need to walk away from. And so there's something so much better awaiting us on the other side. And so get ready to start a brand new life. But first, the crumbling comes first, right? So let's get a closing message. Let's get a closing message here. Love, partnership, moderation. So it's like the devil energy, temperance. And so love comes in many forms, right? Partnerships don't just have to be romantic. Love is an energy that we can all embody, that is within all of us, and we can have love for all. But I feel right now there's a lot of resistance to the spiritual quest, because I think there's a lot of anger that needs to be sorted through as we go through this compassionate review of the past and reach forgiveness, because apparently it is bringing in a spiritual partnership. But I feel this is where we're headed towards, a new spiritually based collective. So allow the music to reinvigorate some type of creativity in your life. I know for me, music was a big part of my spiritual awakening and my spirituality. I do receive a lot of telepathic messages through the music. I do receive a lot of communication from my higher self through telepathy, through songs and music. And so there's like almost like a creative empress energy coming through. And so victory is nearing. Maybe not until that 7/7 portal, but right now I think communication is important, connected to abundance and connected to healing and compassion. So look at all of those double digits. Now 22, intuition. So I think we're just on the precipice of mastering, knowing what is right for us. So get ready to make some tough decisions coming up here leading into these eclipse energies throughout the weekend. That's what I got for a message today, guys. I do apologize for it getting out late. Thank you all for your support. Thank you all for just being on this journey with me all of these years. I have a lot of gratitude for all of you, the new subscribers, the old subscribers, all of you. Thank you. So if you would like to book a reading with me, check out the description box below. And I look forward to seeing you all again next time. Thank you.